Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It is Wednesday, January 26th. It is hump day, and we are delighted that you are joining us. This is the program that tries to take the mystery out of your financial life. We try to make it entertaining, a little bit fun, and we most enjoy hearing from you. And so if you've got a financial question or query at all you need to do is to give us a holler. Our website is jillonmoney.com, and all you need to do is click the contact button. On that contact button, you will see there's a little checkbox. I would be willing to come on the program. Check that box off. Come on the show with us. We love to do it. And if you actually have something that's a little bit, I don't know, like more nuanced, I think it's much more helpful if you come on the air with us live. That is what Christina did. She's on the line from Tampa, Florida. All right, you're up, girl. What's on your mind? How can we help you out?
Hi, good morning, Jill and Mark. Thank you so much for taking my call. My husband and I are avid fan of your show, mostly me, and he's a fan through my conversations with him. And so just a quick, I guess, introduction. My husband and I are both active duty military, currently serving the United States Air Force. We are both 43 years old. I actually turn 44 tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations. Happy
Yeah.
early birthday.
Thank you. We have a 14-year-old daughter who's a freshman in high school. My husband and I have been serving the Air Force for about a little over 20 years. I plan to serve for a total of 30 years. I'm currently at 23 years, so 7 more years to go. My husband intends to serve for 27 years. He's currently at 24 years of service right now. A Lieutenant Colonel, 05 in the Air Force, and my husband is a Chief Master Sergeant. He's an E9.
Okay, wait a second. What do these words mean? Hold on a second. Lieutenant Colonel.
Yes,
What does
ma'am.
that mean? Like, are you a badass? Are you like someone's boss? What explain I'm a
Yes.
total idiot. Help me out here. Tell me what these rankings mean.
Yes, so a lieutenant colonel is an officer in the Air Force. We have different tiers. So I'm a field grade officer. So this is the rank where you're right, kind of a badass because you are. I am, leading squadrons, groups, and then my husband is also in some way a badass because that is actually the top rank on the enlisted side. So he's a chief master sergeant. So that's the top rank for enlisted.
I think she's higher. I think
I
she's
am.
higher. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I could tell you were a badass just from the way you were talking. I was like ready to do whatever you told me to do. Mark, weren't you? We were like, okay, I'm in, whatever. Let's go. Oh my
Yes.
God.
So,
Can I just ask dumb questions? Again, I'm a
sure.
civilian, so I'm going to ask you, did you always know that you wanted to be in the military?
Actually, no. I grew up in Alaska, and I was looking for ways to pay for college, and
Mhm.
so I actually enlisted in the Air Force to try to get the GI Bill. And after being enlisted for almost 4 years, I was able to actually work on my undergraduate degree while active duty in the Air Force, and I applied to get a commission as an officer. So, yeah, so went from enlisted to becoming an officer, and my husband really enjoyed being on the enlisted side, and he pursued his career, and now a chief master sergeant, a top rank. So I'm really proud of him.
That's amazing. Now, first of all, what's your feeling about me saying thank you for serving? Is that lame or do you like hearing that?
Actually, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. With everything that's going on in our country, we don't hear it enough, and so I appreciate your support and your gratitude.
Okay, well, thank you. We do support you. So, two things about military. Mark, do you want to explain a little bit about your love of the military and we can keep this part on the air just so you pop in. So, talk about your experience with the military and how you've been drawn to it.
Are you referring to our mutual friend?
Yes?
Oh, yeah. So Jill and I, when I worked at CBS, Christina, I had a colleague of mine. She was she's still there. She's a correspondent for CBS, and she did a lot of coverage overseas. Was in Iraq seemingly all the time, and then in Afghanistan, and then on one of her embeds in Afghanistan, her vehicle that she was in got hit by an IED, and she got wounded very, very badly. Wound up losing a leg. when she was at Walter Reed, I used to go down pretty regularly. I would say monthly for a while. I went down to Walter Reed to visit her, and it's just being around all those wounded warriors and seeing all the positivity in their eyes and just the spirit that they had. It's just like, man, oh man, it's hard to ever complain about anything in life when you're around people like that.
So there you have it. That's Mark's story. My story is twofold. I had like no experience with anyone in the military in my life. I mean, my dad was like, whatever, when like volunteered, but it was not wartime. And, I think that really all he did in the military was like, he learned how to smoke some grass, play poker. He was stationed in Texas, went to Mexico. Like it was like fun for him. Like it was just like, he was like literally like, that was such a fun 18 months. It was great. And then my girlfriend at the time, so this is in the early 2000s, her nephew went to Annapolis and he graduated in 2004, which was like scary time to graduate. And he went to tank artillery school and then ended up in Afghanistan and died 5 weeks after he was there. It's horrible, like horrible accident, like just unbelievable. And so I really got immersed in the world of like, what is this world? Who are you people? Why are you so brave? Why am I so lame? All of those things. And like kind of scary also, by the way, just like how you could make a decision when you're 18 years old, I'm going to Annapolis. And then how your whole life changes as a result. And then, and now one of our best friends, her son is in the Air Force. Actually, he's like flying drones. And so, I'm worried about him and I admire him. And so when I say that, like, thank you for serving, I could almost cry as I talk to you. But I think that there's a part of this that civilians don't really get. So I think that whatever you're getting from the military, it's probably not enough. And I'm glad they paid for your education. And so now that's our story. Mark, we can leave that in or not, but I just think it's interesting to like remind people that there are very big decisions that people make and that the choices you made as, a kid, like, oh, I need some free college, actually can mean something pretty dramatic in your life and could be good, it could be bad, lots of different pieces. So I'm sure that you're used to that, right, Christina?
Yeah, I would say to your point, Jill, it really changes you. It changed me and my whole perspective in life. I was looking for free money for education, and the Air Force has given me so much more than what I was looking for.
I mean, it's amazing that you say that. Like, it's given me so much more. It's really, it's a beautiful thing, actually. All right. So now let's get back to you guys. So what brings you to us? Like, what do you need to know about?
Okay, so the reason I called is I've been kind of the person in our family and our marriage responsible for finances and doing our retirement planning. And so we're at this point in our life where we're really disciplined and we're working on our wealth building and accumulation phase. As I mentioned, I plan to do 30 years in the Air Force, so I'll be about 50-ish when I retire, and I don't have plan of, not at least not right now, seeking a job post military. I do have people in my network who are reaching out in case I change my mind and want to do some part-time or full-time consultant work. My husband plans to pursue his Christian marriage and family counseling practice full time when he takes off the uniform.
Hmm.
It's a passion of his, and I'm fully supportive of him doing that. So it'll bring in some income, but it's not going to be a lot.
But
Um,
so that's 3 years from now, you said, right? That
yes,
he's going to work 3 more years. You're going to work 7 more years.
yes.
So two questions. How much do you earn right now? You, Christina.
So for myself, I did my math, and I am making $161,000.
Okay. And he's making how much?
He is at 124.
Okay. So that's a good living between the two of you, right?
It is, and honestly, part of that, and which maybe some civilian may not understand, is part of our income are actually non-taxable, like our housing allowance and our food allowance is non-taxable. So, like out of the 161 I make, 36,000 of that is non-taxable, and out of the 124 he makes, 31,000 of that is non-taxable. So it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you live in military housing or do you own your own dwelling?
Actually, we own. We have a house that as our primary residence. It's currently worth 360K last time I checked. We owe about 270. It's just a house we bought like last year,
Oh,
and
great.
then we also have two rentals that
Mm.
we own. One has it's worth 305,000 and more outstanding mortgage of 120,
Hmm.
and the other property is worth about 255, and we owe about 130 for that property.
And those are probably cash flowing pretty well. So between the two of them, what's the real cash flow? Not necessarily what you're putting on your tax returns, but what are you collecting on either a monthly or annual basis?
Actually, we're doing pretty well on those two properties. So together, I'm getting about $1,200.
Okay, fantastic. So, talk about the way that you guys structure your retirement planning. So, when you retire at age 50, what will your pension look like?
Yes, so we have this calculator that we can use to take a look at our projected pension. And so for mine, when I retire and I'm looking at 2028, I'll actually get 75% of my base pay for doing 30 years. So according to the calculation, it's about 132,000
Mhm.
a year. So it's 11 grand a month.
Yep.
That's before taxes.
Right.
For my husband, when he retires in 2025, he'll receive almost $67,000 for the year, so about 5580 a month.
If you look at what your needs are, and I don't need you to don't include college because we'll deal with that separately. But
Mhm.
what do you guys really need to live on? Do you think?
So to live comfortably, like traveling and stuff like
Hmm.
that, I actually calculated for 10 grand a month with today's dollars.
Okay. When you're in the military, are you also eligible for Social Security?
Yes.
Okay. So, first things first, let's pretend in 3 years he's done, and let's pretend he makes no money. Can you live on your $161,000 salary plus the money you receive from the rental? Can you guys basically, that seems like you should be able to do 10 grand a month. Have you run those numbers? Do you feel like pretty close on that?
Yes. In fact, it's been I've been convincing him, hey, you can retire now,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah.
Okay, so your salary plus the rental, you can float it, which is great.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Whatever. He's going to do make his decision, but you can float that. That's great. At age 50, you retire. You have health benefits for life, don't you?
Yes, we have this TRICARE Select, which is
Yeah.
about like I think $400, $500 a year for the premium.
Good. What about for your kid, the 14-year-old? Now, what happens for college there?
So we actually have a post 9/11 GI Bill reserved for her. So it was my GI Bill benefits that I ended up not needing because I went to school while I was on active duty. So
Ah.
we have about almost 3 years of tuition that's going to be covered. And the really nice thing about post 9/11 GI Bill is that they also provide 2 semesters book stipend and also
Mm.
a monthly housing allowance
Oh,
for my daughter. And
all
then
right.
we also have about $67,000 of 529 for her, which I stopped contributing because I
You're not
think
going to
with
need it.
yeah, I think with
I
the
mean, maybe
GI
she'll go to
Bill,
grad school, I guess.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what about other money that you have saved? Like, what's in your emergency reserve fund?
So we have about 75K for
Great.
emergency fund. As far as retirement, the Air Force or really the Department of Defense provides us with TSP, which is like a
Hmm.
401k,
Yep.
and we're maxing out our annual contribution for that. We currently together we have about 530,000 for the TSP.
Hmm.
We're also maxing out our Roth IRA, and together we have about 280.
Oh my
Um,
God, I want to marry you. How do you feel about a polyamorous relationship with a lesbian?
no,
I mean, Mark, do you want in on this or not? You
I'm
want in?
really, I'm really jealous. I'm really selfish.
I can't manage that. I mean, you're in fantastic shape. You're in fantastic shape. I mean, I can't say that enough. You've done an amazing job of saving. Is the question that you want to understand about, like, are you okay? Like, you are okay in spades. You're in fantastic shape. You really are.
Yeah,
And
I'm like a nervous wreck. I feel like
oh,
I hear that a lot on your show. Like I think people have millions of dollars and like I don't know if I'm okay. But I'm looking at it. I'm like I want to have that flexibility. Once I take off the uniform, maybe
yeah.
travel for the next 6 months, and then like okay, yeah, maybe I'll do some consultant work part time.
Maybe you will. Maybe you go
Yeah,
kick someone's ass somewhere
yeah,
else in the private sector.
yeah.
The thing is that's interesting. I was interviewing someone for my book, okay, who is a psychologist. She's actually an old high school friend of mine because I'm writing this other book. My question to her was, psychologically, often I will talk to people and I will show them numbers and hear their stories and be like, "You're fine. What's up?" And she said, sometimes people, it doesn't really matter that there is something else that is going on sort of behind the scenes in their heads. And so, like you said, you're a nervous wreck. And when I hear that, I wonder, well, okay, what's the fear? What is the fear here? That like I'm going to retire and I'm 50. And is the fear that like I don't know what to do with myself? Or is the fear more like, what if something bad happens? Like, what is it that we can work through with you?
I think for me, it's more, just having a second opinion. And, of course, this is probably not the place to, have the psychological part of it. But like growing up and seeing my parents like struggle over the years and, in some ways they're
Hmm.
still a little bit struggling, right? Where I'm having to help out every once in a while. I think
Hmm.
it's that, right? And just making sure that my husband and I are both okay. My daughter's okay. It's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, let's think about like all the different things that are going on here that are positives, okay? So, number 1, you're going to have income that will cover your needs basically, right? Because between the two of you, you will have $200,000 a year in pre-tax pension, okay? So, you just told me even if you tax the heck out of it and listen, you're living in a low tax environment in Florida, right? So even if at 200,000 you pay your taxes that are due, even if tax rates rise, you are going to net beyond the need of $10,000 a month. So that's just in your pensions, does not include social security, right? What else could happen that would be bad? I guess that what like bad could be like, like I don't make it to age 50. I won't get as much. Even then, because you have money saved in your thrift savings plan, because you have money saved in your Roth, you're in really good shape. And you have money that is in the 529 that could cover, if the military's covering 3 years of tuition and a couple of semesters or of books and expenses and living expenses, like you have more than enough money. I don't see a scenario where something really bad happens. Maybe you say to me, well, I hate these rental properties. I'm so annoyed. I don't want to take care of them anymore. You can sell them. You got plenty of equity. You can just add that to the pile. So I don't even see a situation where and I am very much into plan B. I really am, like, what could go wrong? So maybe I would have been good in the military, except for my very major lack of respect for authority. But besides that, I think it would have been great. But I think that if you look at your downside, I don't see the downside. Mark, is there some downside scenario that I have not contemplated? I don't think so either. I think that you are in really good shape, really good shape. Yeah. And Mark says you deserve 100% to be in this place because of everything you've given.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Honestly, that's part of the reason why I, wasn't really pursuing a post-military career. It's just I've spent a lot of time deployed, more than my husband actually, and so I want to be home. I want to be more available for my daughter, who okay, she'll be in college at the time. Maybe she wouldn't want to spend more time with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand that. Just wait, right? But actually, I think once they get to college, it does get a little bit better. The whole like teenage girl thing is a little flummoxing in the universe. But I noticed that with my sister's daughters, they seem to have come back around quite significantly as they, round the corner of 21. So I think your timing is perfect. Through the military, I know they make you do your estate planning, but have you done any updates to that?
Yes, we actually we have existing wills and POAs or power of attorneys, and we're actually have an appointment to make a few tweaks at the end of the month.
Okay, great. I mean, look, even if you had to keep throwing your family some money on the side, you got plenty of money to do it. I think you're in great shape. Okay, Mark wants to know, what is your favorite overseas posting?
So we were actually we lived in Germany for 3 years. My daughter was
Mm,
actually born in Germany at Ramstein, about an hour outside of Frankfurt, maybe a little more.
mhm.
But that's, it's such a beautiful place. And so we've really explored Europe, but I think one of my favorite places right now is Portugal and the Algarve area. It's just, the beach is there, but it's not super crowded, and
Mm,
it's just a drive to Spain, not too far out. So it's just so much to explore.
that's cool. That's great. What's the worst place?
The worst place, believe it or not, I'm
Yeah.
not a huge fan of Paris.
What?
I'm
Oh
not.
my God, Mark is gonna have a
It's
nervous
not.
breakdown right now. It's his favorite city in the world.
I heard you guys talk about it on your podcast about Emily in Paris,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm cracking up because it's like they always show the good parts, right? But I'm an avid runner, I'm a marathoner, and so I remember just running around downtown Paris, and it stinks, it's dirty, I'm like, how come they never show this part?
Mm. And so meanwhile, I thought she was gonna be like, "Well, I'll tell you, in the Middle East, I was in," yeah, but no, Paris. That is a
Well,
great shocker.
I guess because we're talking about Europe, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, Africa has. I was in Djibouti, which is
Mhm.
the Horn of Africa.
Mm.
So that was
Not a good place.
no,
No, it's a little scary.
yes,
That's a little far away from Cape Town, where I was in Africa.
yes, yes. It's not a touristy spot.
No. All right, Christina, do you wanna just kick our asses? Give me a command.
Oh my goodness, I
Like, what do you
don't
say to people who are like, da da da, like, like, play the part on the movie? Who's playing Christine in the part? And let's do it.
I don't know what to say because we
Like,
don't.
what do you mean? Like, do you not have like do something like boot campy?
You could always say lock it up, like lock it up,
Ooh,
Jill.
nice. Lock it up. What does that mean? Lock it up
Lock it
exactly.
up, basically, like if you're in formation with your team and you're
Hmm.
messing around, lock it up. It's getting attention, get focused, lock it up.
Okay, wait a second. Let's do it again. Ready? I'm futzing around. I'm this, that, and the other thing. Now, give it to me,
Jill, lock it up.
Mark. I'm so scared. I'm gonna do whatever she tells me to do right now. Christina, thank you for serving. Thank your husband for serving. You are a delight. We
Thank you so
are so
much.
grateful that you are took the time and go keep our country safe for God's sakes, and keep doing what you're doing. You're on track. Let us know if there's anything else we can do. All right, there's nobody out there that probably has the exact same kind of situation as Christina, but you know what? We all have different financial circumstances, and I would love to hear more from you guys. If you have someone in the military, you want to have like some ideas. A lot of people who are in the military are career transitioners. They're really trying to figure out how to go to the next thing. It's almost like the financial independence next endeavor, because a lot of these people know, I've got the base of a pension. I could do something else. It's probably not as big as Christina's, but you're not as badass as Christina's. So it's okay. We'd love to help you out. So anyone has a question, just go to the website, jillonmoney.com. While you're on the website, you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter. You can subscribe to our other broadcast called Eye on Money. And you can always, always, always check out the resources section. So let us know if you've got a resource that you think we should add there. Again, the contact button is on every single page, jillonmoney.com. Okay, put your hands metaphorically on someone's back and say a little quick prayer for Christina and everyone in the armed forces who is working their butts off and trying to protect us. Okay? Thank you very much. We like that. Grit, growth, grace. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.